All right. Let's talk about The Last of Us episode 2. Which, man, this episode was good. Like, I was watching it. And spoilers for this episode and spoilers for the video game, Last of Us 2. Now, I say spoilers, I'm just going to spoil an event that happens in this episode, but that I also knew about from the game. But keep in mind, I do not play the game, so I don't know. But this episode was rather intense. I think it was first of all, this episode starts, and it just kind of gets into the thing of things and zombies and all that stuff. But some of the zombie kills were pretty cool. We're seeing different types of zombies. You know, there's clearly one kill where the one dude uses a flamethrower that's fucking like straight out of the Thing, like the John Carpenter movie, not the 50s version that's based on, or the movie The Thing that is a prequel to The Thing, but isn't named like a prequel to The Thing. It's just called, anyways, that's the whole thing. But anyways, it was clearly like John Carpenter's The Thing right there, and that was like sweet. Honestly, this episode was so well directed that I'm like, hey, the director of this episode was like, I'm doing a thing, not a thing, but you know, an adaptation of the movie The Thing, like a remake or a sequel. I'd be okay with that as long as Carpenter gives his blessing, my guy, because you don't touch Carpenter movies without Carpenter's blessing. That's just the way I see it. But I don't know, I thought it really worked. I thought it was fucking badass. But then we get to the real point of this episode. Abby finally catches up with Joel, and we understand Abby's kind of motivations. That was very unclear early in the season. I'm sure if you knew the games, you kind of understand, but there clearly was something else that they wasn't from the games, from what I understand. And we learned that Joel killed her dad, and she was 19 at the time, and that stuck with her. And she is so badly wanted her revenge to kill fucking Joel for this shit. Which, to be honest, from her perspective, she's justified. You know, it is a little. It is what this his death was so hard to watch because you love Joel so much as a character, but he did some fucked up things, and he kind of deserves this. Like, he's trying to be a good person and be better. But does that really matter when he took multiple lives and that darkness that he brought out to kill those people is still in him? We saw that last week's episode. That, I don't know, I thought was very strange. You know, it was good stuff. I like that. Um, and then, you know, of course, Ellie sees Abby be murdering Joel, and she ain't having it. It's heartbreaking to her, especially since so much of their relationship in this season has been way more strained. And, you know, I think there's a couple ways I looked at this. I knew this was coming. I knew it happened early on in the game. I just didn't think they would go this early on in the season with it, because Joel is the highlight of the show for a lot of people. And people could say that about the game, but it is different in the game because, again, I don't know too much about the game, but what I'll say is this: that the games are more about gameplay and things like that. A lot of the normies who are watching this show are only watching this show because Pedro Pascal's in it, and he's really fucking good at it. And yeah, you had to kill him as part of the story. I get that. No, I'm not complaining about that. The way they did it, I thought was really well executed. Some people might disagree with me. But it is like, oh, you killed Joel. Now where are we going with this? It's lost a lot of its heart now. You know, I felt like Joel and Ellie's story was a huge part of why I was invested. Now, that's part of it is taken away. And one thing is that shows that maybe the story is really well written, and you know it's willing to take risk and do things that make me as an audience member mad. Because by the end of this episode, I was not happy. I was not happy that Joel died. Not just because I liked that character, but just something about how all of it went down. I was physically angry, so I don't know what's happening next. It's a good episode, but I'm still processing, if you could tell. So, I kind of am upset though that HBO did not drop the first 2 episodes together if this was how it was gonna go. Like, hey, if you were just gonna kill Joel in the second episode, then these episodes should have come out together. We should have gotten to the point where Joel died sooner, and then just been able to watch the rest of the season air from there. That would have been a great way to start the season. Last week felt like, oh, we waited so long for the season, and we didn't really get that much out of last week's episode. Which I'm not saying last week's episode was bad. I actually thought it was really good. But I felt like, oh, it's not really like the season opener that you're like, wow, which is fine. Not complaining. But, yeah, I do think this is a great episode, I think. And I say I think because, again, I'm still processing my emotions with it. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Abby's character supposed to be trans? I don't actually know. Let me know. But I swear that one of the characters in The Last of Us is trans, and I thought it was Abby. And if that's true, why are you casting Kaylin Denver? I think I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but correct me if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. But she is like a great actress. I really like her and stuff. She's great in Booksmart, but she's not trans. Nor does she look trans. So, I don't know. Fans of the games can correct me on that. Also, I'm not really sure what that weird scene was with that guy who said, hey, this is a family event about Ellie and kissing her friend. Which, like, bigots don't usually apologize like that. So I feel like there's something deeper than that's going on there. I don't know, maybe Joel gave him a lashing or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I thought it was a good episode. I still have a lot of questions and concerns, but when you watch a good show, a lot of times you just gotta trust the people involved with the show to take it where it needs to go. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. Let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe.